Well, greetings and welcome to the channel. Today I'm in Great Coxwell, which is just over the Oxfordshire border from Wiltshire, and I'm here to see St Giles's church, but I'm not at the church at the moment. Actually, I'm not at the church at all at the moment, not even the Tithe Barn, because the wind noise was so awful. So, to save your ears, I had to re-record what I said then at home later. However, back to the story. Most people who come to Great Coxwell come here to see this magnificent tithe barn, which was made by the Bewley monks in the 14th century. This is a National Trust property, and I wasn't going to go inside it, but it seemed to me you might be disappointed if I didn't. So here we go. Out of the wind, I hope to rejoin the audio that I recorded that day. It's looked after by the National Trust, of which I'm a member. Beautiful structures. That's where we've come. I'll walk us through it and then we'll get on down to the church and see if it's open. It's a bit dark in here. Bit of a damp day. Walk on through the other side. Actually feels quieter coming out. It's so large, we've got to get back quite a way to fit it all in. There we go. And now we'll head on to the church, which is a few hundred yards that way. Actually, before we head on down there, I'll show you some of the National Trust panels. Okay. A last look at the barn before we head off. Back out the gate. So we'll head into the village and see if St Giles is open. So I'll catch up in a moment. Puddle Duck Lane, that's a nice name. This looked like an old schoolhouse, but it's actually a parish reading room from 1900. Just got to get this rise and the church will be before us. The church may not be open yet. I like the shape of the porch anyhow. out behind the tree a bit. The eternal question, is it open? I like the shape of the doorway. It's quite a simple roof here, but effective. This is really nice. Worn by time. Oh. Right, it seems it's still locked at the moment. So let's have a wander around the exterior. It possibly doesn't open till 10 unless they've got an event on, so I might have to come back in an hour. Lovely bird song. There's a bit of view of the tower from here. There's quite flat fields around here. I know some of you on the channel like gravestones, so here's one to have a look at, which is rather nice, I think. Look over in yonder fields, to the left towards Oxford and to the right towards Swindon. From what I understand, it's a 12th century church, but there were some renovations or extensions in the 15th century, and of course the Victorians did their thing, as they do, and repaired and enhanced it further in the 1800s. It's a bit hillier this side. There's a small door here. I thought I'd give an impression of myself by it and get some sense of its size. So there must have been a tiny person in there, or someone had to bow before they could enter. I've had a second attempt to get inside the church. I'm by the beautiful door. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get inside today, so I think I'm going to have to abort this one. I'm going to try and fit another church in today instead. So nothing's lost really, it's just redirected energies. I have been in here before, as I think I said, so what I'll do is I'll include some still photographs, maybe with a bit of music in here so you get a glimpse of inside, and in the future I'll come back and we can have a proper look. The vicar here has clearly got a very good sense of humour. Well, unfortunately, the vicar's not in. I'm heading back to the church because I saw a Mini come from that direction and I just wondered if they'd opened up. No, still shut. I just noticed this sign, which if I'd looked at when I came into the place, I would have realised it wasn't open till 10 AM. And at the moment it's 9:30, so I'm hoping my son will let me stay here. He's busy chasing a bin lorry at the moment, and if he lets me stay here then I can go inside and look at it. So there's still hope, so hang in there. Whilst I'm waiting for 10 AM, I thought I'd read out some details of some history that I located. Most people come to the pretty village of Great Coxwell near Farringdon to visit the extraordinary 14th century Tithe Barn built by the monks of Beaulieu Abbey But at the opposite end of the village from the barn is an even older building, the parish church of St Giles. Pause before you enter St Giles to examine the south door. The style of the carved decoration suggests that it dates to the 14th century. The first church here was erected sometime in the Saxon period. No trace remains of that Saxon building, but the current church dates to the 12th century, making it at least a century older than the Tithe Barn. Remaining from that 12th century building are deep splayed lancet windows in the north wall of the nave, and the simple stone font near the door. The westernmost nave window once illuminated a west gallery. The next door to the east is probably late 13th century, in decorated Gothic style, and the two small trefoil sections retain medieval glass, the only original fragments in the church. I've just noticed by the door that there's these hinges, so it seems to me there was a further door that had been added, maybe to protect it from burglars. And we've got a modern stop theft sign, but it looks to me like someone's nicked the door, or maybe its purpose is not needed now, what with security cameras and the like. Can't be long now. Whilst I wait, I shall learn patience. And what is the reward of patience? More patience. I just noticed that the sun briefly popped its head out to say hello. Maybe it means the church warden is coming with the keys, who knows? Look, sunlight. How different the day looks with a bit of sun. You can see a bit of the grey as well, but the sun's there too. It's always there somewhere, even if it's behind the grey. It's interesting that when you're required to wait, you start to see more details in things. And I've just been observing these beautiful plants on the ground, and there are many shades. I thought the key holder was coming, but then realised it was a dog walker. Just disappeared behind there. But I did notice this. The church is the oldest building in the village, and the earliest church was mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. It is a relatively unaltered medieval church with a charming simplicity. The earliest parts of the church date from about 1200, and there were modest alterations in the following 300 years. The tower and porch were added around 1400. Amongst the church's notable furnishings are the main door of the church, which is 15th century woodwork, a font of about 1200, a number of fine Georgian monuments, and a communion rail and pulpit with 17th century woodwork. There's also a set of rare engraved glass panels in the east window, with heraldic shields of successive lords of the manors by the artist Francis Edgington of about 1795, which were given by the Earl of Radnor, whose country house was at Coleshill, 3 miles away. However, the most celebrated item in the church is the monumental brass to William Morris and his family circa 1510, and this is because William Morris made a rubbing of the brass of his namesake, which you can see displayed at nearby Kelmscott Manor, where Morris lived, which I visited. By contrast, the great barn at the other end of the village, which is in the care of the National Trust, was built around about 1300 as a monastic farm attached to Beaulieu Abbey in Hampshire, and is one of the finest examples of a medieval barn in the country. It is also open during daylight hours. And we have a substantial number of visitors from across the world who come to look at its historic architecture and furnishings. They also come to appreciate its association with the great 19th century artist craftsman William Morris, and to gain a sense of our church's special quality as a place of prayer. Well, it's about 10 past 10. I'm still waiting at the minute, But what I noticed is this, which rather looks like a World War II bunker. The son is here. Is the father here though? Yes, the father's here. What to do? Do I wait? Time to view the gargoyles. Lots of noisy crows are in the trees. I think they're crows. Carrion anyhow. What's a carrion? Perhaps they want to get inside the church too. It being almost 10:20, I'm thinking I may have to abandon it. Might try the vicarage again. Hello, I'm sorry to disturb you. I was trying to get entrance to the church.
Was it not open yet? I'll come and open it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. That's very good of you. Well, the good news is I've spoken to the vicar and we are going to be able to get access today. She'll be along in a moment. Back to St Giles we go.
It's a silly key because you've got to get just over
Ah, right.
and then turn it the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
It is now open.
Ah, that's wonderful.
I think it's like
Yeah.
for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very so much for your help. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.
So, we're in. That lovely decoration on the font by the south porch. Beautiful. Beautiful window with the light streaming through. St Giles was a very popular saint in the Middle Ages. 150 churches are dedicated to him, mainly in towns and cities, including St Giles in Oxford, Cripplegate in London, and the High Kirk in Edinburgh. Although he is usually referred to as an abbot, he may have been a hermit living a solitary life of prayer in the forest near Arles in Provence, where the village of St Giles bears his name. His story was first told in the 10th century when the legends of many saints were being compiled by the monks. One day the king was out hunting and his hounds put up St Giles's pet hind. The king loosened an arrow, but when he gave chase to the deer he found, in a clearing, St Giles himself wounded by the arrow, holding in his arms the hind and the hounds rooted to the spot. This symbol is a deer pierced by an arrow. The feast day of St Giles is the 1st of September.
I'm sorry you were put to the trouble of...
It's not a problem at all. I'm quite a patient person really, so it wasn't a problem. I hadn't realised till I was here about 9ish, but I hadn't realised until I looked at the board it was 10 that it would be open. But that's very good of you to pop in. And
fine.
yeah, the vicar let me in.
You're taking photographs, I hope.
I take photographs and videos as well because I do a YouTube channel on churches, so I'm trying to sort of advertise them more really, so that they can get more donations, basically.
Be sure to walk in the churchyard that side because the view is very good.
Okay, all right.
Good, well,
Lovely. Thank you so much for your help.
that's fine.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Have a good day.
And you too.
St Giles is the patron saint of all who are forced to live by begging on the streets and of all disabled people in our society. Please pray for them and for the people who worship here. Further along the north wall, near the carved Jacobean pulpit, are the most interesting pair of historical features. Memorial brass is set against the wall. One large brass is to William Moores, whose father Thomas was the first secular owner of Great Coxwell Manor after the estate was seized from Beaulieu Abbey at the dissolution of the monasteries. Beside Moyer's brass stands that of his wife, with their children, at a much smaller size, set beside her. The details of the 16th century costume are still quite clear and beautifully outlined in both brasses, And the pulpit's Jacobean, I understand. The candle is not. Let's stand in it. It's always good to get a view from up here. Morning, Messiah. Got a helicopter going overhead, disturbing the quiet. Simple windows. The east window is set with 7 heraldic panels of engraved glass. Note that I did not say stained glass, for these panels are not stained, but cut into the glass surface. There is only one other known example of this engraved glass heraldic panel at Pusey on the other side of Farringdon. So if not technically unique, the Great Coxwell East window is certainly rare. The panels show Lords of the Manor of Great Coxwell and were inserted on the order of the Earl of Radnor in 1795. The artist was Egerton, 1737 to 1805. Egerton made a career of designing and painting church windows. So there you have it, a simple church perhaps, with no great drama, but containing several items worth seeing, set in a lovely little village. This was recorded in the porch. We're in the Bear on the White Horse. Seen some very nice cushions made by parishioners. Look how the light streams through from the window on the left, which is the north side of the church. It's beautiful. Let's go back to it a moment. How nice is that? Look at the other side of the door. Looks to me like it's been rather like a picture. It's had something put on the back of it to try and protect it. Hold it together a bit. I might be wrong, but that's what it seems to me. Yeah, these certainly are medieval screws and nuts, aren't they? It's been reinforced in some way. And here's the organ. A modern affair. Bits of material. So I think I'll conclude there then. Thank you so much for being patient along with me, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.